Okay.
Hey, and we are live.
Hi.
You're watching PTV Live.
Yes.
I'm Arnie.
I'm Doug.
And welcome to the stream tonight. Tonight we are going to be talking about food. We love talking about food. So
worldwide lives around food and not just in more ways than one.
Yeah, very true.
Okay.
So we want to start the evening actually very simply. That was our opening. We're going to do some pleasantries and welcomes like, hi, Gels Journeys. Thanks for joining the stream. Really appreciate you being here. And Donna, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. How are you doing? Good to have you here.
Thank you.
It's been an interesting week. We've had a lot of fun happening around our lives and lots of stuff going on. But we decided that tonight was going to be a night of talking about food.
Mm-hmm.
Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, it's all good at Disney parks. We are very fond of especially restaurants at Disneyland and California Adventure, since we're more familiar with those. But hey, Mickey Bunch, thank you for joining us.
Why are we seeing it there and not there?
Because it's on the screen. We're using it's a different, we're using the built-in.
We're trying to figure this all out.
Zippity doodad. I hope PJ's there too. How you doing? Good to see you. Okay, so we have several things we want to cover tonight, but food is definitely on that list of things that we're going to cover. Looks like we have 4 people in the stream right now.
Perfect.
And 4 likes. Perfect. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Oh, PJ's sleeping. Yeah, I understand. It's kind of late over there on the East Coast. Yes. So thank you. Sherry, thank you for joining the stream. Really appreciate that. So we will continue with the pleasantries. Charles Abel Lear, thank you so much for joining the stream tonight, Charlie. Really appreciate it.
Yes.
And Daisy Dukes, thank you so much for being here. Cargo 619, another big fans. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And Steve, thank you. Good to see you.
Bye.
Okay, so we've had some interesting things happen around here. This is actually breaking news right now. We actually just read about this a couple hours ago. And for those of you on the East Coast that are annual pass holders, you know how crowded it can be with annual pass holders. Disneyland is no different. The last number I'd heard is that there are over somewhere between 900,000 and 1 million pass holders that have annual passes to Disneyland. So that tends to get crowded. Hey, RVing to Disney, thanks for joining us. Noah, thanks for being there.
So Disneyland is notorious to have locals, and it's now gone into like epidemic levels of trying to keep crowd control during the holidays. There's no downtime. There's no off season. Disneyland is now pretty much out of control. And with Star Wars Land opening, AKA Galaxy's Edge, they just created something that I think surprised everybody and all the speculators that are on YouTube and even on big Disney fans. They created, I think, what we're trying to figure out, because it's still so new, a new flexible annual pass. What flexible exactly means, we do not know, but it sounds like you can do, or you have so many days and you could reserve, which sounds in concept absolutely amazing.
Yeah. The way it can be explained. Oh, by the way, I want to also apologize for my brother. He cannot be on the stream tonight. He actually has tickets for the show in San Francisco, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, he gets to go to see a Broadway musical.
So he sends his apologies to everyone, but he will be joining us again very shortly. Anyway, we have this new particular blog from actually Disney Parks blog, and it's about the Disneyland Resort introduces a new annual passport that combines value and flexibility. It's called the Flex Passport. Starting May 21st, guests can purchase the Disney Flex Passport, which offers multiple ways to visit the Disneyland Resort, combining value and flexibility. In essence, there are blackout dates, and then there are dates that they call good to go, and then there are reservation dates. Now, when you go, you can go any good to go date you want to on a vacation. These are mainly for people that are coming from out of town to go to Disneyland Resort. That's what we're figuring here. So what we see happening is that they gave an example on the website of what the calendar looks like. There are blue dates, green dates, and gray. So green means good to go, which means if you have the flexible passport, the flex passport is what it's called, you can go. If it's a blue date and you're coming from out of town, you can reserve up to 2 dates on the calendar during that time. If it's a gray date, you are blocked out. So you cannot go into the park. Good evening. More sunshine, please. Jim, thank you so much for joining. Jim. Hi.
So what I think this is going to do is it's going to give everybody the flexibility to go at different times. So now there's the next big $20,000 question is about the money, is how much is this going to cost?
Yeah.
Because right now an annual pass for 2 parks is $1,000 for a premium with the only blackout days is you have 2 weeks of Christmas and New Year's. You cannot go.
If you want those Christmas dates, it's I think $1,150 or $1,200. It's something like that.
It's a lot of money.
We just haven't looked at it too closely because at this point we're not interested in going between Christmas and New Year's because that's actually the most crowded Disneyland ever gets. They frequently close the gates early. And early, I mean by 11 o'clock in the morning. If you're not in the park, you're not getting in.
Yeah. So this is, I've never heard anything like this. You know, all the Disney fandom out there always seems to know one step ahead of Disney what the mouse is going to release. This, I think, has taken everybody by surprise.
It was a big surprise to us.
Surprise.
We had not heard or seen anything about this.
We always have our ears to the ground, and we're kind of looking forward to see what this exactly all of it means. Because right now we're hypothesizing to ourselves it's because of this, it's because of that, but I think it's really good.
Yeah, so that was our breaking Disney news for this week. We'll keep on reporting on Disney news as we hear it. We also have something that's happening, and it's actually happening a lot faster than we had anticipated, and that is we're actually approaching 500 subscribers on our channel. And thank you so much. That means the world to us. We're still trying to comprehend how fast the channel is growing.
Really fast. It's really exciting. So we have some ideas.
Thanks, Noah.
And we want to expedite this and give a gift that we think it's going to be a package. We're going to unveil it probably next week. Hopefully,
hopefully we'll be
what is curtailed.
Yeah,
but it's going to be it's going to be a nice little one, and I'm saving some big juicy things for our 1,000.
Everyone's saying congratulations. Thank you so much. Look at everyone saying congratulations.
I'm trying to read. I don't have my glasses on. I'm getting old. So I have to go back like this to read.
Okay.
So,
but we know that there are going to be at least 2 or 3 pieces of Disney memorabilia in the package that we're going to give away. So that's going to be for 500. Now, when that happens, we're going to actually be creating a video and posting it hopefully by the end of the weekend about how to enter the contest, because everyone here is eligible for the prize, but we're going to pick one name out of the hat, and it's going to have something to do with a hashtag. So you'll want to make sure that you're following us on Instagram and Twitter, and hashtag whenever we announce that at that point. So
we're trying to figure out who's going to get the 500. Is it going to be past people, or this is the 500th person that's going to get it? I don't know.
No, it's definitely going to be someone that you enter.
Yeah,
so anyone can enter this one.
So
any one of our first 500.
Yeah,
of which you're all included. And if you're not actually part of the village, we encourage you to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell so you know that you'll know whenever we're uploading another video.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's about what we're going to do on that.
And speaking of social media, Doug and I were in Sacramento yesterday for an anniversary of the Transcontinental Railroad. 150 years ago yesterday, they celebrated in Sacramento for the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad from Chicago to Sacramento.
Actually, it's from Nebraska.
Oh, Nebraska.
Omaha to Sacramento.
So, during that time, it took them years to build it, and they completed it, and they were ready to celebrate on May 8th, 1869. And so we took part of a sesquicentennial celebration yesterday in Old Town Sacramento, and we'll be posting a video on that very shortly. But as part of Sacramento, you may, if you're subscribed to our Twitter and Instagram, you may have seen pictures of us today at a TV station, KCRA in Sacramento. We were visiting one of our very dear friends.
Very dear friend.
And yeah, see, if you look at it, see Charles E. Abel Lear, that's our friend. He said that it was great to see us there. So we spent some time there in Sacramento with him. So it was great to see him.
Yeah, there's like a lot of things happening here. So yeah, we got to tour a leading network, and it happens to be the Sacramento market, and it's KCRA, the NBC affiliate, and he let us have a tour of it, and we got to sit in.
Hey Zach, thanks for joining the chat.
Zach is gone.
No. He's okay. Zach is there. Anyway, so we were able to be given like a short tour of KCRA, and so we sat behind the news desk. They turned on the lights. They took pictures of us. Had a great time. It was so much fun.
Mm-hmm. It was really cool to see.
Yeah,
an actual live news brass. Where live newscasting gets to be done. So.
Yeah, so it's KCRA 3 in Sacramento where the news comes first. Okay,
I'm trying to say.
So we're still reading
my birthday. Yeah, I'm just now finishing my week off of celebrating my 45th birthday, so it was a big deal, and which will kind of the conversation will go to that. And yesterday was the big train thing at Old Sacramento, and then having a wonderful meal and having with good company and friends from Sacramento. So we can
AJC, thank you so much for joining. And oh gosh, look at that. Everyone's saying happy birthday. Yay. Yeah.
I'm a kid at heart. I'm not letting this age thing happen. I still wear all my Mickey clothes. I'm not gonna let this stop me. I'm gonna fight it. It's all about Disney.
The conversation of age can be an existential experience. Yes. So existential things aside, let's go ahead and talk about our main topic, which is going to be food. When you go to a Disney resort, doesn't matter if you're at the hotel or in any of the parks, you can always find something to eat.
Yes.
And we have some very specific things that we like in the park, but we thought we would break it down into just, we like this particular thing or this thing. We actually want to break it down into breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. So
how we thought was this is that everybody goes to the parks quite a bit, either at Walt Disney World or Disneyland. What are the things that you always have to get or always have to have? It's just your go-to. It's like your security blanket. I'm going there and I have to get this almost every time. Not necessarily always snacks, but what is like the restaurant your go-to that you crave?
Yeah, it's
every single time if you go.
It's that thing where you say to yourself, if I don't go to this restaurant, my vacation is not complete.
We all have our favorite restaurants we go to throughout the week. We have our favorite fast food. We have our favorite dining. It's just we want to go to them because it's just something that's very much a comfort zone.
Look, we're seeing Dole Whip,
Dole Whip
bars,
we knew was going to be
citrus swirl.
those are snacks, and I'm talking like restaurants, and it doesn't have to be extravagant. It could be in the hotels. What is that one food that I try to get? And we can also go into the past because stuff with Disney constantly changes. But I thought it was a really good one because we always are creatures by habit. And we always want to order the same thing because we know what it tastes and we know what it is, and it has that special good feel. So we thought what a good topic is to talk about if you go in the morning, where do you go and what are the certain foods that you eat, and lunch, and then dinner, and then your snack. And I'm seeing that Dole Whip is.
Okay, Daisy Dukes is already saying candy apples with peanuts. Yeah. That's one of our favorites, actually.
Our snacks, we'll give a run.
We'll get to that one.
We have a list of things that we like. Okay, we're going to get it this time. Is it going to be too hot? Because we use a car. We don't travel by plane. And do we want to bring this home? Is it going to melt? So do we have this? So breakfast. When we get to the parks, we usually try to eat something beforehand, but there's times we got in the parks, and I think the most memorable one that we've always done, because we've always been to Disneyland since Christmas Eve of 2001 till Christmas Eve of 2008. So for 9 years straight?
For 9 straight years.
9 straight New Year's Eves, we've been in front of the castle. And our go-to place for breakfast, we would get the steamboat at Rivervale Terrace in the kitty corner from New Orleans Square. and Frontierland.
And
it would be our
it's
breakfast, our
it's-
New Year's Eve breakfast.
If you use a river reference, it's the confluence of Adventureland, Frontierland, and New Orleans Square. So where all three of those lands meet right on the rivers of America. That's where the River Belle Terrace is.
And it was pancakes shaped of Mickey, eggs and bacon.
Yeah.
And we would have that every New Year's Eve morning. When we get to the park so early, we make a beeline, and we did it for 9 years straight, every single breakfast. And it was that. And if we're not at New Year's, we would do Tomorrowland Terrace and get one of their American breakfasts, or their like basic one.
Yeah,
that was our
simple
go-to.
Scrambled eggs, bacon, biscuits, things like that they have.
That's when we're always in the park. We want to get into the park, but sometimes we try to eat breakfast before wherever we're staying at, or get a quick somewhere else.
Oh, Disney World Adventures, thanks for joining the stream. Looks, he says, yeah. I'd like to have that every day. Juan, thank you for joining the Thank you for joining the stream. Very nice. Good to have you here.
Mexican restaurant, and not the River Belle Terrace, not that the breakfast. Yes, they did change the restaurant at River Belle and made it more upper class. It's table service. It's not cafeteria, and they got rid of the breakfast, and they kind of moved that over to Rancho del Zocalo. So
good night, Art Jones. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate you being here.
So that's our little breakfasty things. Do you have anything adding to the little breakfast? Oh, I have one more.
Okay. Well, truthfully, I'd like to always go to, there's a bakery on Main Street, and you can always get like a muffin, or you can get the cinnamon roll, the Mickey cinnamon roll. Yeah. That is hands down one of the sweetest things I've ever eaten, but it's so good.
You forgot. I thought you were going to say the, since Downtown Disney is so close in Disneyland.
Oh,
Earl of Sandwich.
Yes, the Earl of Sandwich. It's much
cheap.
Easier. Downtown Disney is right outside the gates of both California Adventure and Disneyland. So rather than get on a bus at Walt Disney World, you can just walk right into Downtown Disney, right from the tram. So before you get into the parks, you can stop in Downtown Disney at Earl of Sandwich and grab a breakfast sandwich. And I'll tell you, one thing about Earl of Sandwich, cheap eats. And it's delicious. And really good.
So, yeah, that would be my other thing, because we haven't had Earl of Sandwich that long here in California.
Yeah.
I think it's only been around 4 years.
Quite a few years, actually.
Yeah,
I think about 5-6 years.
5-6 years.
But I will say this, and that is, for a while, it had closed down because of Disneyland and the city of Anaheim not getting along with each other, and they threatened to tear down a certain part of Downtown Disney and build a hotel, and that didn't work out. So they scuttled those plans, and
the Earl Sandwich came back.
Earl Sandwich is back.
So that's breakfasty. Now for lunch, when we're not exhausted.
Oh, D&G, thank you for joining us.
Yes, we're really trying to
catch everyone as you.
Earl Sandwich.
Perfectly cat. Thank you so much for joining.
I love chocolate truffles from the candy shop. They are chocolate covered pecans that you can only get them on Mondays.
Yeah, there are some things at Disneyland that you can only get on certain days of the week. Like at Christmas time, they only make the handmade candy canes at certain times. And those are fantastic. I mean, yeah, everyone has candy canes and things, but the ones at Disneyland are about, well, if you can see my hands,
they're handmade.
Yeah, they're bigger than my head for length, and then they have the nice little crook like they do. They're handmade. They only make a limited supply. You have to stand in line to buy it, and then once they're out, and you have to wait until the next time.
We got that. That's candy. This is very Disneyland centric, but I'm trying to want everybody to be involved in Walt Disney World. The candy, the Crystal Palace is one, but I just saw something here. It says lunch at the Pacific Wharf and the broccoli cheese bowl. That's exactly what I was going to talk about. Our go-to place at lunch is bread bowls at Pacific Wharf, either be the salad or the seasonal. They had a chicken pot pie soup, or it was just chicken pot pie.
It was a chicken pot pie soup that they had in the bread bowl.
So good during the holidays. It was turkey pot pie. It was like so good.
The lunches are amazing. This is going to last a while. Talking about the different foods that we
lunch is really
So to explain. In San Francisco, there is a bakery called Bodine Bakery. They make sourdough bread. They have been making sourdough bread since about 1849. Since the gold rush. They've built themselves a little fortune a little mega empire in sourdough bread.
And it's world renowned. They're at airports up and down in California where they have little kiosks and people buy their bread and take it and ship it with them. And you can ship Bodine bread. And it is the best sourdough.
In California Adventure, one of the attractions they have is actually the Bodine Bakery, where you can actually go through and see the whole process of how sourdough bread is made. At the beginning of the tour, they give you a taste sample. And then at the end, you can leave the tour and then go in this little other door right next door. And it just so happens to be Pacific Wharf Cafe.
Usually it's really packed and very popular.
Oh, and okay. Charlie said, I know we're talking about Disneyland, but I just took my first trip to Disney World in Epcot. Everyone kept saying, Charles, at Epcot, you need to drink around the world. Instead, I chose to do
desserts around the world. I did the desserts around the world and had a sugar rush for 3 days. That was back in the day. I recommend the whole desserts in the road. I've had Bodine sourdough bread. It is very good. It is.
It is. It's fantastic.
We call it the bread ride because it's an attraction. It used to be narrated by Rosie O'Donnell. Well, it still has screens of Rosie O'Donnell and that dude from what show was that?
Whose line is it anyway?
Yeah, forgot his
Colin
something. It's campy.
If anyone remembers Colin's name, you just put it in the chat. Yeah, I can't remember his last name.
It's very campy, but lunch would be always at Pacific Wharf in California Adventure if we're in the mood. That would always be the go-to we have a lot of different places that we eat.
Yeah, Pacific Wharf actually has a couple of restaurants there. There was the Lucky Fortune Cookery, and there's also
Chinese food, the Mexican
there's a
food.
Mexican restaurant as well. They do decent enchiladas and things like that, but it's not one of those things that I'm going to say,
I won't.
It's not my vacation unless I eat there.
No, those are not the foods that I will
Pacific Wharf is definitely that way. That's
Pacific Wharf.
And then in an area that used to, what is it called now? It's not Condor Flats. It's now an area where it's right next to Soarin'.
Smoke Jumpers Grill.
Smoke Jumpers Grill.
They have yourself burgers where you go to a burger bar and add your old accoutrements that goes along with your burger.
Yeah.
Lettuce, onion, pickles, and so they give you a bun and meat, and then you go make it.
For any of you that have a Fuddruckers nearby, I know Fuddruckers is a national restaurant and they have lots of locations. It's similar to that, where you can go and they've got a condiment bar for lettuce, tomato, everything.
So those are lower key ones.
There it is, Cocina Cucamonga.
Yes.
Thanks, Juan. That's
get
one.
The kids there for $5. You get beans. Yeah, you can eat some of this. Is the lower end price when we don't want to spend a lot of money. So it's like Smoke Jumpers, Pacific Wharf. You get, I feel like, a bang for your buck.
Yeah.
And then if we feel a little rich and we're in the mood and there's something that's scratching something, then it just flows at Cars Land.
Yeah.
That flows.
Flows Drive-In.
Drive-In, V8 Drive-In. Excellent. I think they have excellent food there.
We've seen things varying from meatloaf to barbecue ribs to
the
great
onion rings are very good.
Club sandwiches. The onion rings are amazing there.
At Smoke
Jumpers.
Yes.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
So if we feel like we want to splurge, then there's Flows. I think those are the go-to that if you told me and I would remember because I can't think of all the food. And then there's lunch. We sometimes just leave the park and just go to downtown Disney too. So everything is you're in a security bubble now. Before we hated doing this because if you left the park and went into downtown Disney, you would have to get in and out of security. Now you get the security bubble. So we leave the park, quickly go to Earl Sandwich, get free grub, cheap grub, and then go back into the park. Because you can go back and forth really easily.
Charlie's asking us to share the most unique dining experience at Disney. Okay, we'll get into that one, but we'll save that for toward the end. But yeah, definitely hold on to that thought. We'll keep there. So we covered lunch in California Adventure.
Lunch at Disneyland.
But at Disneyland, lunch. Oh my goodness.
Jolly Holiday would be a place we would think of.
Jolly Holiday Bakery and Cafe sits in the shadow of Sleeping Beauty Castle, right in the hub of Main Street in Disneyland. And my favorite thing to get there, hands down, is their house special. It's a bowl of tomato soup with a grilled cheese sandwich. There is something so absolutely perfect. It's practically perfect in every way, just like Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic restaurant. They have various pastries and cookies and things that you can buy there. Oh my
I
goodness!
got the gumbo right at the entrance exit of Pirates of the Caribbean, the veranda.
Yeah, there's the Royal Street
I get
veranda
that a lot. Then we go to
the Mickey Bunch says, yeah, this grilled cheese and tomato soup is incredible. It really is just a classic. Yeah, Donna, a classic combo food. It's a classic comfort food combo. It really is.
I just like that Disney is now embracing the whole foodie aspect of it. There's festivals. Disney and food never has to have been this way. Even in the 90s, it was disgusting.
Yeah.
You just didn't want to eat at the park. It wasn't until the early decade that you actually started to bring in good food, good restaurants. And now it's an Instagram cultural phenomenon. And people will go, annual pass holders will go eat at Disneyland, not go on a ride and then leave.
Greg agrees. Jolly Holiday is totally amazing. It really is.
Yeah, so Disney has really elevated their stuff, and there's some you just don't realize how much you want to eat at the parks, and it's not necessarily always about price because there's so many memories attached to food. Think of Thanksgiving, of all your childhood Thanksgivings at your home. So Disney has that way of you always want to do it because it's such a part of your experience, and we do always try to watch our money, but I want to eat, and you have to eat at the parks. So this was a great topic of what do people eat? What do we think about for lunch? There's I was going to say the Country Bear, Hungry Bear. We've eaten sometimes, depends on what's there.
Yeah. There's a restaurant right next to what used to be the Country Bear Jamboree in what's now Critter Country. It's called the Hungry Bear Restaurant. And we can usually get great salads and things, but
sandwiches.
Your typical cheeseburger and fries and onion rings are available there. So it's a good option for lunch.
I mean, my favorite place when it opened in 1998, and it even lasted for a good decade, and I had to go there every single time. It could be lunch or dinner, is Red Rocket's Pizza Port, and I would always get their chicken fusilli pasta. It's like a creamy Alfredo with chicken and pasta, and it was spot on amazing. And then it got bad.
Yeah, Jim,
I can't eat it anymore. It just got super bad.
Jim said that Disney got the memo about good food. It's why Epcot has festival 10 out of 12 months of the year. Very true. That's very true.
Yeah. What does what is that? The Flower and Garden? They have more food now than they do have Flower and Garden. That's what I noticed about that. So,
and yeah, they've got a great fried green tomato sandwich.
Yeah, the fried green tomato sandwich is really good.
Bear. It is good.
I mean, the amount of food that's in Disneyland, it's just huge.
Yeah,
there's so much food.
Yeah, let's see. For lunch, also, I would say I like to sit down at Cafe Orleans. There's a restaurant right in the shadow of Pirates of the Caribbean, just right across the aisle. The walkway from Pirates of the Caribbean entrance is a restaurant called Cafe Orleans. It's now a table service restaurant, but there we can get the Monte Cristo sandwich.
Outside of the Blue Bayou.
Yeah. Blue Bayou also has that, but wow.
These are ones that you can kind of go up and not necessarily have a reservation for. They can go to it.
See?
Oh, and another one.
Mickey Bunch agrees. Yeah, totally. The Monte Cristo and palm fries.
Yeah, the palm frite fries.
The palm frites, yeah.
Then another one that's starting to be a memorable thing, if I constantly remember, and it's getting very close, is the Red Rose Tavern in Fantasyland. Where they have the gray stuff.
Look at that. Cargo is saying, "Where are you, Frushi? I need to find you. I miss you, Frushi." Yeah, I haven't had any of the frushi, but I've heard great things about it.
What's the frushi?
It's sushi, but made of fruit instead.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was all the rage. I guess they started it last year, the year before that. In Epcot, it's celebration, one of the food celebrations. If someone can tell me when it really started,
I tried.
Yeah, that'd be great.
The best burgers, Rosie's. Oh,
hey Rob, thanks for joining. Appreciate it.
Can have they're amping up their quality and stuff, but the Red Rose Tavern in Fantasyland, where you can get the gray stuff, they actually have some really good things.
Yeah, they do.
I've been remembering that.
They have this They have this really good flatbread that's available.
What did we have that last time? That was the poutine.
They had poutine.
That was really good if you want.
Now I know
salt and gravy.
I know that they sell poutine there in Canada, and it's really good. But I'll tell you, for us, when we want to get poutine,
California doesn't have that kind of stuff. So we it's made up, but it's really good. So it depends on whether you want something fast, fried, sit down.
Rob, thanks for joining, at least for the bit.
Thank you.
Zunk to go. Yeah, I gotta go to bed. Yeah, definitely get to bed, Rob. We'll see you later.
So that's kind of lunch. It's kind of what are we in the mood for? What do we look at? It's what comes to immediate. So we have these go-to that we have to eat, but then again, it's like we have so many, so I can't really pinpoint it down. So we love to hear from you guys of what's your, I have to go. It's just my thing. I always remember. I always think about.
Definitely. So. That'd be great to hear from you. Oh, look at that. We've got Dole Whip Dad is in the house. Thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate it.
Dole Whip. Hi, Rob Fuzz. I saw Rob Fuzz come in here.
Yeah, he was here for a bit. He's got to go to bed.
Yeah.
It's a little late on the East Coast. So
I'm trying to keep it earlier. So that's lunch at both of those parks.
Yeah, it is.
Then there's downtown Disney, which we don't usually try to leave because once you're, held hostage in the park, you sometimes don't want to leave, even though everything is so close.
I will say this. If you're looking for a nice lunch outside at downtown Disney, stop by Ralph Brennan's Jazz Kitchen.
That's very good.
Yeah, they've got some great jambalaya there.
That beignets.
Oh, the beignets. Yeah, right there at their
Napoli has they have the pasta, the Italian. It's really good.
Yeah, and great pizzas.
Yeah,
very good.
So it's just again pocketbook and mood.
Okay, then there's dinner. Yeah, dinner.
Then there's dinner.
For dinner.
Kind of falls into lunch. We kind of have the same thing.
Yeah, they do. However, for dinner, we generally will take that opportunity to sit down and just do either, instead of quick service, we'll do like a little counter service place. Cafeteria style.
Which is?
We will go to a place called Plaza Inn, which is right in the plaza, right across the hub from Jolly Holiday.
Yeah.
So.
What do you get and what do I get? And we always share.
Yeah.
It's like, double your pleasure, double your fun. So we always share food, so you can have a little bit of everything.
They have. Oh yeah, look. Donna says I enjoyed the holiday poutine at the poutine quick service spot in Disney Springs. I have heard about that quick service place in downtown Disney, and it's on my bucket list. I have to go get poutine.
We're gonna get
in Disney Springs.
But thank you, Mickey Bunch. Mickey Bunch, you did answer that. The Plaza Inn chicken dinner. He orders the chicken dinner, and I order the pot roast.
Yeah,
we share it.
We always get those. We sit down, and I'll tell you, Disneyland is not a visit unless we have been to Plaza Inn and had their fried chicken and the pot roast.
And this past year, they did what's called during Fried Chicken Week or National Fried Chicken. They did a competition of who had the best fried chicken in the resort, and it went from the Plaza Inn fried chicken to Flo's fried chicken, and everybody says they're the same thing, but a lot of people said I have not had Flo's yet, but those are supposed to be like the epitome of the best fried chicken in the park. So it's like who gets the best as a Plaza Inn or Flo's V8 diner. So that was cool. They had a logo and a button. I'm like, why am I not doing that? So fried chicken's really good. And if you really want ultimate fried chicken of the 1930s is Mrs. Knott's Chicken.
Yeah.
For that, you have to go to Knott's Berry Farm.
That's another conversation.
If we're not going to go there, we'll do that. But I think fried chicken at Disneyland is
zippity doo, Dad. Yeah, he's hungry.
Yeah.
We just finished. I'm still hungry.
Yeah, we have leftover cake. Thank you, Charles.
Yeah, we have a leftover birthday cake that Charlie got for us.
We got my birthday. I'm milking this birthday for all of its worth. So there's Plaza Inn.
Okay, so that's Plaza Inn. So let's go into go around to the other side of the park, Adventureland, then into New Orleans Square.
Rancho.
Yeah. Well, no, that's in Frontierland. Let's go into New Orleans Square. For New Orleans Square for dinner, that's when we would probably go to Blue Bayou. And again, that would be the Monte Cristo sandwich at Blue Bayou. But that requires reservations. Blue Bayou is a sit-down restaurant.
It's up there, though.
If you've never been to Disneyland, inside Pirates of the Caribbean, when you leave the station of the attraction and you go through, it's actually a bayou that you go through with fireflies. It's very almost dusky. It's like twilight. It's dark. And so you see all these little fireflies sitting around and flying around, and you hear a banjo playing in the background. And then as you're passing through this area, off to your right-hand side from the boat is a patio, and that patio is the Blue Bayou restaurant. So it's the restaurant is like eternal night.
It's a restaurant and an attraction. That's essentially what it is, and it's super popular and super amazing. And I don't think they have that where they have anywhere. Do they have a restaurant inside of an attraction?
Yeah, if anyone can tell me, at Walt
now that I
Disney
think
World,
about it, do they have a physical restaurant inside of an attraction?
the only one I can think of offhand is in the Land, where they've got the rotating restaurant at the top, and you can actually see into another attraction. The thing is that when you're on the attraction, you don't really see into the restaurant.
No.
But at Disneyland,
I mean, there is the boats that go in Pirates of the Caribbean, and people are eating like not too far from you off in the water.
Yeah.
So it's very Disneyland. It's very super popular.
Chills, thanks for joining the chat.
Oh yeah, I could do the whole month-long thing.
Okay, Grand Fiesta Tour. That's a very good Yeah, you can see the station of Grand Fiesta Tour.
You can see the station.
Mexico. Yeah,
that's very close to being my Pirates.
Yeah, Mickey Bunch. I love sitting by water and watching the pirate boats launch at the Blue Bayou.
It's just something very memorizing.
It's mesmerizing. It really is. It's wonderful.
But that's a mood place. I mean, we don't go to the Blue Bayou that much, even though we like it, because it sucks a lot of your time and a little bit of the pocketbook. But it's one of those special occasions, and we try to do it occasionally. But I kind of like the really good time.
Yeah,
throw me
something but Doug mentioned the place. If you go to the next land right over, it's going to be Frontierland, and there is Rancho del Zocalo.
And they have actually really good Mexican food.
We enjoy the Mexican food there at the restaurant. When I go, and that restaurant, I have to have the burrito. And I
love their taco salad because it's a big fried shell. It's excellent.
But the burrito, I tell you, it could choke a horse. It's really big.
Yeah, it's huge.
Just really big. And it's stuffed with everything from, you can have guacamole in it, sour cream, all the fixings of a traditional or of a typical American burrito kind of thing. And then you can also have it wet. So they pour a mole over it and then put cheese on that. It's delicious.
This is where the Doritos was invented. Actually, yes.
That's right.
It's starting to be, it's not an urban legend. It's just the timing and the real reason, but Disneyland created the Dorito.
Very good, Kay. That's good.
I would tell people that, this is Disney, because they made so much tortillas and they didn't want to throw them out. And that was back in the day, but Doritos was Disneyland created the Dorito.
Yeah.
And who doesn't like that? So we have Rancho for dinner at Disneyland. What else do we go to that we always think of?
For dinner? Actually, that's also where we would go to Red Rocket's Pizza Port for dinner in Disneyland. For that one,
can't do the pasta anymore.
No. Can't
Their
do
pizzas.
The pasta's changed. The pizza's still okay. And I'm kind of disappointed with the quality of the food. And we have said that we've gone there, but unfortunately, it's one of those places that we can't really recommend anymore because the quality's gone down. Now, that may change when they do a new overlay of the Pizza Alien Planet.
It's permanently getting overlaid of the Toy Story thing. So it's going to be Pizza Port. Alien pizza. So they're gutting all the retro stuff, and I guess they're going to make it. I guess the food has gotten a little bit better. We have to go haunt the place again. So that's the pizza place in Tomorrowland.
Look at that. Cargo 619 says at the Mickey Bunch, if Norway had a restaurant attached, I bet you people would shout out, "Throw me a troll." Yeah. Probably very true.
People.
Okay, RVing was there in November and it's gotten better. Oh, that is great to hear.
Yeah, I actually watched some of our YouTubers and they did a thing and I'm like, this actually looks pretty good. I mean, I would have to, if I feel adventurous and I want to do it, I've heard of some things that I wouldn't mind trying.
Dole Whip Dad says, put a restaurant in the Haunted Mansion. I like that idea.
Rumor had it, and I think they were going to do it in Walt Disney World first, is they wanted to do themed restaurants to attractions. And that was the one they wanted to do, was take the Haunted Mansion. And they could make it a premium. I wouldn't care. I don't care how much it cost. I would eat there.
Yeah.
That would be so popular if they take all this stuff of attractions and not really make it look like the Tiki Room in the Haunted Mansion because no one would pay attention because everybody knows the Tiki Room when Walt Disney created it was supposed to be a restaurant. And then he realized that no one's going to eat and he can't turn over the tables because everybody's going to be looking up at the birds. So, and then people would think that the birds were going to be doing business on them.
Shamra, thanks for joining the chat. Really appreciate it. She says, hello, gentlemen. Don't fall off your chairs. But I've never been to any Disney theme park. It's fun listening to your descriptions and sharing all the meal venues. By the way, Kentucky's in the house.
Kentucky.
Fantastic.
Yes.
What is that, Blue Devils?
I'm not eating anywhere to a coffin. That would... I don't think you want to put skeletons or something. I think you can make it more the ambience. Yeah, a skeleton coming out of a grave or... they're Imagineers. I could come up with some things, but I know they can come up with some things even better.
I want one on the Jungle Cruise. Apparently, there's something similar to that right now at Disneyland, but it's just a quick service place called the Tropical Hideaway.
Yeah, we haven't been there yet.
We haven't been, and I'm
avoiding everything online.
We have intentionally avoided any information about it because we want to be surprised when we go there.
Juan Rodriguez, he said Lamplight Lounge is supposed to be amazing. Honestly, we haven't been there yet.
I've seen reviews of Lamplight Lounge, and the food looks incredible. So that's on my list of places to try.
It just opened like a week or two, and the line was out to Terre Haute. We didn't even want to touch it. It just opened last July, and that was the last time we were there. So we need to go haunt the Lamplight Lounge. I heard it's amazing. We've followed people like that, and I know that it's supposed to be absolutely amazing.
Jim says, Dole Whip Dad, don't you think the plaza looks like a Haunted Mansion restaurant, the exterior anyway? Yes,
it does.
Yeah, agree. Totally agree.
But yeah, if they theme it, I know they did Tropical Hideaway. I know the Jungle Square has a Skipper Canteen in Walt Disney World. And they have exotic food. I would like to go to that to see what that's all about.
Definitely places that I'd like to try.
So those are my...
Now, if we're talking about resorts, which are right outside the gate, like we said, in downtown Disney, the first resort you come to is the Grand Californian. It is the counterpart of the Grand Floridian at Walt Disney World. The Grand Californian looks more like Wilderness Lodge, though. It's grand in scale. The atrium of the check-in desk, the atrium goes up like 6 floors.
But it's
huge. It's beautiful.
It looks like a lot of the Walt Disney World resorts because they've used the exact same plans and pretty much reskinned them. So from the Animal Kingdom Lodge to the Wilderness Lodge, the Grand California pretty much looks like all of those. The layout, the grand scope of them.
But
in Greg's Disney, Tropical Highway is so amazing. I know I'm going to get the shakes. I'm waiting.
Noah says Skipper's Canteen is so amazing too.
Tropical Hideaway is so amazing.
Well, yeah, and then Noah says Skipper's Canteen too.
Oh, gosh. We're trying to read these.
We're trying to keep up.
Grand California is stunning. There are respite when we want to just exit the park and just relax.
Yeah, they've got a great lounge right off the lobby, which is delicious. They have great appetizers, and you can pick up some adult beverages there. We really like that.
And we love all the restaurants inside there.
There are 3 restaurants. One is the little quick service counter thing. That's Whitewater Snacks. And they offer, your typical burgers, pizza, things like that. Pretty much typical pool food, which is it's because it's right next to the pool. But then you come to a place called Storytellers Cafe. And our favorite thing to do there is this amazing soup.
The corn chowder.
Yeah, the corn chowder. Everyone screams for the corn chowder. It's one of those things that...
Good night, Jim. I know. We're sorry. It's so late where you guys are at. You're trying. You're supporting us is more than we could be grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Yeah, thank you. So corn chowder,
Storytellers is actually delicious.
Storytellers was one of those places where they said, okay, let's change it up. They tried to take the corn chowder off the menu. And when they did, there was a riot. People rose up and says, no, you can't take that away from us. We have to have our corn chowder. So now it's a typical staple. Doesn't matter what time, what season it is, corn chowder's on the menu.
Then the next one for our very special events when we want to celebrate something, to do something is is Napa Rose. Napa Rose is almost up there. Andrew Sutton is the chef that now moved and created all the food for Carthay Circle and Club 33.
Yeah. So
And
Napa Rose. So that you understand so you understand the concept of the name. Napa Rose refers to rose bushes that are at the end of vineyards in the Napa Valley. What they do is they tend to attract bees on the roses, so they will pollinate, and then they also pollinate the grapevines as they're going through the vineyards. Springtime is amazing in Napa. Maybe we should do a vlog. We'll do a vlog of the Napa and Sonoma Valley, because I'll tell you, spectacular places to go there. It's wonderful. And we happen to live about 45 minutes away from Napa. So it's a good opportunity for us to vlog for our audience, for you, the villagers.
Good night, Mickey Bunch. We know. Thank you for supporting us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You guys have me hungry, but I don't want to leave the room. So I have a personal emotional attachment. He allowed me to do it. I think it was back in 2004 when California Adventure started the Food and Wine Festival.
Yeah.
And it was called California Food and Wine Weekends. And it was only on the weekends. And I think it was the very first year they went. I think it was 2004.
Good night, Zippity Doo Dad.
They had a special event. And I said, we could both do it. And he's like, no, you'll enjoy it more. Where you paid for a class, you get a chef coat, and you got to cook in Napa Rose. And I took that class. And it is amazing. And you got to hear how it was before dinner, and we made a 3-course meal there, and it took about 3 hours to cook. And it was a very small group of us, about 12 or 16 of us.
And you all had a sous chef helping you out in the kitchen?
Yeah, we each had a chef that worked there, and one chef was like for 2 of us.
Didn't you get a chef's coat?
Yes,
too?
I have my chef coats that has it all. And we made the scallops, the diver scallops, that is famous. And then we made the lamb chops, and we cooked them all there in Napa Rose, the restaurant, and they never did it ever again. I think they did it for one more year. It was a very much an extravagant thing. I'll never forgive it and forget it.
Thanks, everybody.
And it was just an amazing experience. And we got to really know the chef, Andrew Sutton, really well. And then as he's gone along, he still remembers us back in the past. So it's kind of cool seeing that.
What's nice is that after that, even a couple years after, we sat at the chef's counter, which it consists of 8 seats, 4 seats on either side of like their salad bar that they have, or it's actually I guess it's the wait counter, so that the waiters can come and the servers can come and get the food. But they have 4 seats on either side of that, and they allow you to sit there in front of, I guess, a sneeze guard kind of thing. You've got glass between you and the kitchen, but you see all the action in the kitchen. And the chef, the sous chefs, they all interact with the guests that are sitting there at the counter. Andrew Sutton was there that night. He came to us and says, okay, guys, is there anything you don't like? And is there anything you're allergic to? So we gave him our list.
Which is very small.
Very small.
Eat anything.
I'll eat anything except cilantro. That's a whole nother story.
He'll do that one.
But Doug doesn't like raw tomatoes. Other than that, it was pretty much
I know, strange.
Anything. So he says, okay. And with that, he started bringing food to us.
Food. It took us 3 hours and food.
And we didn't know what was coming.
Food.
I would get one dish, Doug would get another. It was not the same. And we would just split and taste each other's dishes.
I think they were experimenting and stuff that we actually eat it off menu, because they were not making stuff that they were doing. They said, we were trying this. Would you want to do this? It's going to have this, but it's not on the menu.
And the thing is, it's all California cuisine. It's all locally sourced. It was all from the state of California.
It's very memorable. And
I had rabbit. I'd never eaten rabbit before. It was delicious.
So when we go to the Napa Rose, we always eat the chef counter. We always have the chefs or the sous chef feed us, because and you just give us whatever you want, and they do that all the time.
And I will say that one of the times that we went, we had a flight of wine as well served with dinner, and we each had a flight. So that was one with the appetizer, one with the salad, one with the main course, and then also one with dessert. So they had like 4 glasses of wine. So by the end of the meal, I'll tell you, we went into the park, and it wasn't that I was drunk, but I sure did enjoy the fireworks that night. They were beautiful. It was the most beautiful display of fireworks I'd ever seen.
RVing to Disney, you're not going to like her. She loves cilantro.
Oh, no, I like her. RVing to Disney, that's fine. It's just a cilantro thing, real quick. It's a chemical reaction thing. 20% approximately of the population, when they eat cilantro, it tastes like soap. And
he'll gag.
When you break it down, there's a chemical compound that is shared between cilantro and most commercial soaps on the market. So that's where it comes from.
He tastes it. So we don't make, we'll eat a lot of Mexican food. I just have to be very hypersensitive. I could take it or leave it. I don't mind it. I like cilantro. But when he says no, off it goes into the menu. So taste Gel's Journey, cilantro tastes like soap.
Yeah.
It's a slope soap. So that's Napa Rose.
Gel's Journeys agrees. She's one of the 20%.
So Napa Rose is when we want to be pampered. We want an extravagant event, and we want to be just taken care of, and it's a special thing. And that's what we're focusing on. And it's really, really high up there.
Donna says that's exactly true.
So,
it is.
So that is the hotels and Disneyland and food.
I'm just looking up. Juan doesn't like horseradish. You know, that's one of those things that for a lot of people,
it's an acquired taste.
It is an acquired taste for a lot of people.
It's funny. For
good night, Chris. Thank you so much for joining.
Good night, Chris. Food is very it's emotional, but it's also a flavor and textural thing. And there's stuff that I didn't like as a kid that I can eat now, and there's stuff that I will put my foot down and I'll never eat, which is very, very, very small.
Now let's see. Okay, so we've covered pretty much any restaurant that people can go to, but there's one that we haven't really explained, and that's the most memorable dining experience that we had in any park, and that would probably be Club 33.
Club 33.
Charlie had asked us, what is your most memorable or most interesting dining experience? It would definitely have to be Club 33. And I know we mentioned it before, but this particular night that I'm thinking of was very memorable to us. We were completely surprised. Earlier we were there for New Year's Eve 2008 going into 2009.
Yes.
And we have friends who are members, and let me preface that by saying I won't say who the friends are. I want to keep their anonymity. And they have also we've also explained to them that anytime we mention it, that we understand that we are not the members, so we do not control anyone coming into Club 33. Truthfully, you have to know someone to get in there. You have to be invited by them, and the
disclaimer is that we've can go and have gone quite a bit, but
that's it.
It's hard to get into there unless we have these friends.
But we have lots of friends that have been able to experience the club. They know other people as well, but again, they just say, please don't tell us the source or anything like that. So
picture this.
Let's just leave it there.
So picture this: New Year's Eve 2008. We were invited to. There was a private party happening at Club 33 to celebrate the new year. So at midnight,
actually just before midnight, we were sitting down and having a meal, and they brought us appetizers, they brought salad, everything was included. And then they also brought Mardi Gras beads.
Yeah.
Mardi Gras beads. So at midnight, we all had a glass of champagne, which of course, inside Disneyland, it's always been a dry park. The only place that you can get adult beverages in Disneyland is Club 33 as of right now. Apparently that's changing when Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opens, but
that's a park. It's a mini park.
We'll see what's going on after that opens, because I don't know if they're going to be spreading alcohol all over the resort or not. But right now, for our experience 10, 11 years ago, it was just for that one meal. Now with that, we had the champagne, and then at midnight we had noisemakers and so forth like that. We went out to the balcony around the restaurant outside, and we were able to toss beads down to the people. the very few people that were still there.
Now, let me tell you about Christmas Eve of 2008.
Well, New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve
Yeah,
of
New Year's.
2008. So we got invited to celebrate New Year's this ring in the new year of 2009 at Club 33. So, which was an amazing, amazing experience. But unfortunately, that New Year's Eve of 2008 to go into 2009, the strike of midnight, a massive fog came in. So foggy, they didn't even shoot fireworks off at midnight. We didn't even get to see Phantasmic there from our seating of Club 33.
No.
It was memorable, but it was sad in the process. It was just like our people who invited us said, we're so sorry you couldn't experience all this extra stuff. But we did do it, and it was just so foggy. But the little people that were down, we still got to throw beads at them from the club. And they were like all excited, like, we got Club 33. And they're just basic beads, Mardi Gras beads. And so we're on the balcony throwing these beads from at the stroke of midnight because there was no fireworks. And it was dead. It was so sad. I mean, we couldn't see it. They shot off a few fireworks at River America at the stroke of midnight, and then we had our champagne toast. So
yeah, it was
New Year's Eve in Club 33 was amazing.
We had to scramble for clothing too. We had to borrow jackets and things because it was a dressy event. So we were wearing
coat and tie.
So when you go on vacation to Disneyland and you don't have any plans like that, you're usually just wearing very heavy clothes like sweatshirts and things like that because it's always so cold on New Year's Eve. Yeah,
in California, we get the cold, not freezing, but
during the day, it's 72 degrees, but
it can get really cold.
But it can get very cold once that sun goes down. The temperature can drop 20, 30 degrees very quickly.
Yeah, 2008 was such a good year. Actually, RVN, yes, that's the year we bought our house.
Yeah, so we have the villa.
We have this, and
that's when we were able to get it.
Amazing.
But so that was probably my most memorable experience at Club 33.
I could have to go back again. It's another Club 33. I celebrated my 30th birthday in 2004.
That was special.
That was another thing that was huge. I got to celebrate with my mom, my dad.
Yeah, Dole Whip Dad. Yeah, Club 33 for New Year's Eve is awesome.
It was amazing, and that was that. So I have to say, but that was more like a lunch.
Yeah, it was. So,
but dinner. Oh God, we've had some great Napa Rose ones.
Yeah, we have. So
yeah,
okay,
we have they're all over the park. So
that brings us into
we got to get this moving. It's
okay,
2 minutes of that. Now snacks. We're just gonna blow through.
Yeah,
this.
Snacks will blow through this really fast. Let's see, churros are on the snack. Dole Whip.
I don't eat churros. You don't eat churros.
I like churros. I love churros. We just don't get them all the time. But I love those. We always get popcorn, definitely popcorn. We always get ice cream, and
the cozy cone at the chocolate dip at the cozy cone.
Yeah, we
always get that.
Anytime we get soft serve any place, Doug just says, "I want a cozy cone."
Yeah, I want a cozy cone chocolate dip. We get that.
The Dole Whip pineapple floats are fantastic.
Yeah, the Dole Whip.
Now there is a snack I wish they had in Disneyland, and that's pineapple upside down cake, but they don't serve that at right outside the Enchanted Tiki Room. They have Dole Whip available and Dole Whip floats and things, and pineapple spears, but they don't have pineapple upside down cake like they have in Adventureland in Magic Kingdom.
No.
So we made a video about pineapple upside down cake and how to make Dole Whip at home. You can see that in our video collection that we have. Just look down in our and I'll put a link in the description.
Yeah, you got to go to the Dole Whip. We actually made the same stuff that Disneyland gets the mix. It's a giant bag.
Yeah, I've heard Tropical Hideaway has Dole Whip now too.
Yeah, the new one, and they have different flavors. So there's like the Dole Whips, the ice creams, the popcorn, the churros,
and the candy.
Let's go to the candy. This is
at the Candy Palace on Main Street.
Must go to
Candy Palace on Main Street, as well as Marceline's Confectionery in downtown Disney. We always get pecan nuddles
or English toffee.
Both of those are fantastic choices. They're both delicious.
We get them it's the last thing we're going to get is a hot in the car. It's going to melt.
Cargo, yes. We're talking about candy now.
Now we're getting into candy. And then there was years, religiously, we would get carameled apple with just caramel and peanuts around it. We would always have to bring one home. And then I would slice it up and we would just nursed the apple. So he would have half, I would have half, because why do you need to eat a whole apple by yourself?
Well, you can, but
it would be the carameled apple. We haven't done that in a while, but we used to do that a lot.
Well, it says Nuddles. I always get
pecan nuddles.
Caramel with crushed peanuts and apple. Yeah, awesome. So good.
You will soon find out that I'm the candy queen around the YouTube streets.
Okay, that's good to know. That's very good to know.
Cherry balls candy. Yes, that's we have sour ball.
Yes, the sour cherry balls. My cousin, her name happens to be Candy. Her favorite candy at Disneyland is Goofy's cherry sour balls. And anytime I go and we see them, I'll grab a bag for her.
Yeah. So,
hashtag all the snacks. Absolutely, Donna.
Disney has the best. Your brother would always get a Rice Krispie treat.
Yeah. And then you can always get something at the Gear Deli counter in California Adventure.
Yeah.
They've got great ice cream and floats and shakes.
Our thing when we go out, and this is another little disclaimer and I know it's getting late, it's 8:00 here, but when we always go out, even if it's local here in town or when we go anywhere, it's our mantra is that we never order the same thing because there's two of the same thing. If he wants something, if there's two things on the menu, he'll order it, we share. We constantly are sharing food because why not? So that's a mantra of when we always go out, we never order the same thing. Yeah. And the other thing is I always order something that I'm not going to make at home. I'm not getting spaghetti and meatballs when I go to a restaurant.
Yeah.
Or I'm not going to get stuff that I can make home really, really well. I love the cook and I'm a very, very good cook. So there's stuff I was like, I'm not going to waste my money on something that I can make at home. So we order fish or seafood.
Juan there says, I always eat all the apples. I once ate 17 Ghirardelli chocolate squares in one sitting. That's a lot of chocolates. That is a lot of chocolate.
Bless your stomach. Yeah, I'm glad you could do that. So that's what when we go, even to the parks, we always try to always make something or go to places that and order what I'm not going to make at home.
Okay. The Kingdom Time says last year, me and my aunt did a Disney cupcake challenge where we had to get as many cupcakes as we could get in Disney. Let's just say we gained some weight.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I could walk through a store and just gain weight. I don't even have to eat anything.
Yeah.
It just attaches to me. Just the way it is.
It's and food is very much a mood thing.
I should consider something like a keto diet or something, maybe.
Oh.
Anyway,
life is too short to eat bad food. Yeah. Not enough of it.
So we have something. We're going to wrap things up.
Yeah, we want to.
First of all, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We really appreciate you being here. Absolutely love it. And if you haven't hit that like button, make sure that you hit the like. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe and hit that bell so you know when we have new videos loading.
Yeah.
We have a question of the day. And that question is going to be, when you're not at Walt Disney World or Disneyland, what restaurant and or food always reminds you of being at the parks? Now, to answer that question, I'd like you to go to our social media, either Twitter or Instagram, and include the hashtag PTV questions. I'll put that in the description below in the video once it posts. But yeah, so again, when you're not at Walt Disney World or Disneyland, what restaurant and or food always reminds you of being at the parks? And tag it with hashtag PTV questions. Yeah. And what we'll do is we'll take a look at those responses and we'll read as many of them as we can next week in our live stream on next Thursday night at 7 p.m. on the West Coast.
Yeah, because it could be anything that you always go to in your town and you just know that's the same thing. For example, on my physical birthday last Wednesday, we went to Trader Vic's in Emeryville, and it's an old tiki style restaurant. And we walked in and we looked at the decor, even the bathroom. I said, I'm in Disneyland or at Disney Park or Trader Sam's.
It felt like being at Trader Sam's.
I really felt like I was at anything Disney. It was Trader Sam's all the way, or the Polynesian.
So
I think it was the Polynesian.
It was like the Polynesian. Yeah.
So
like going to the Grotto.
I felt like I was in something very Disney. And then for food, what do we eat around here that just kind of remembers? Well, I made Dole Whip here that tastes exactly like the park.
We had Dole Whip and soft serve available in Sacramento yesterday. So that was... we were thinking about Disney yesterday.
That's what the reason why we started is I had a chocolate dip cone that I normally get at the Cozy Cone at Cars Land.
So that's what really inspired tonight's question.
So you guys all have a magical night. Please answer
Yeah.
these questions. We'd like to hear the place, dive place, food, whatever that you always go to and that gives you that little thing or just triggered you just recently of it. So
Lorena Zapata, she gets the candy apples. Yeah,
candy apples
definitely.
are really good.
Apples are fantastic.
But thank you very much for doing it. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends and family.
Yeah,
please. And we
please.
love sharing our stories because
We do.
It is kind of fun to talk about it and being big Disney fans and sharing it with the rest of all of you is really fun. And don't hesitate to ask us other questions of, you heard more. Please tell us about this restaurant or this food that you talked about.
Oh, Greg, thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
Thank you. And
Don, thank you, everyone. Really appreciate it. And Matt Fitzgerald, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate you.
Hi, Matt. So, and yes, with Club 33, we've been there enough. If you feel like you've heard stuff, run it past us first, because a lot of what is out there is really not true. So we could tell you, no, we've been there, and no, it's not this, or yep, it's exactly what you're hearing. It might be hearing it. So,
but everyone
it's kind of but it's fun.
Everyone, we don't take it for granted. We thank you so much for being a villager, just joining our village. Thank you so much for being part of Pepper Tree Villa.
Again, thank you all.
And I'll put everything in the description below. The link to the video about Dole Whip, as well as the question of the day, and tag those answers on social media at PTV Questions.
Yep.
So I'm Arnie.
I'm Doug.
And you've been watching PTV. Thank you so much, everyone.
Good night.
Have a great night.